I remember watching you in 2005. Wow, what a moment, singing Piece of My Heart at the Grammys. No
Yeah.
hair. It's incredible. A song that you would sing in bars, 20 years earlier.
Yeah. When they asked me, I remember I was still in chemo. I was still doing it, and I was just a mess. I was able to not work, so they gave me what was called dose dense, which means they just take you as close to death as they can and kill every cell in your body. And it was kind of it's a bit barbaric, but that's what they believed in then. And it was I remember hearing, "Hey, we want you to pay tribute to Janis Joplin," and it was about 3 weeks away, maybe 4 weeks, and I remember thinking, I don't want anyone else to do this. I want to do this. And I could do that song in my sleep. I had been performing it for decades. And I was like, yes, I'll be there. I said, I'm going to be bald. I hope that's okay, but I'm going to be there.
And you had to muster the energy to do that.
Yeah, I had done radiation that morning. I was in my radiation thing, and I was weak, and that was the only thing. But now that I watched that performance, I remember halfway through, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I am running out of energy, just, energy. And I said, okay, I'm just going to stand here. I'm not really going to move. I'm just going to sing and give it everything I have, put all my energy into my singing. And what it did is it kind of calmed me down, and the camera was able to really catch me because I didn't move. So that I said, okay, I just got to get that scream. If I have enough energy for the scream, I'll be okay. Once I do the scream, the song's almost over, and then I can go home. And I did. I was able to do it. I screamed the scream and said thank you. And I just didn't want anybody to laugh at me because I was bald. That was all. I had no idea what was going on. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Joss Stone right before we went on, and I said, now, Joss, because she was singing with me, and I said, Joss, this is the Grammys. The audience is notoriously, awful. They're not going to give you anything because they're all in their tuxedos and they're just sitting there. So don't take anything personally if they don't clap, if they just, and my guitar player comes up and he looks at me and he goes, you don't know what you're about to do you? And I didn't know what he meant until the next day when it just totally blew up. And I was like, oh, okay. Wow.
I mean, that was an emotional moment for a lot of people. Obviously, people who are survivors of cancer, people who had family members who had survived and who didn't. Did you, people cried seeing that, right? People probably came up to you and hugged you and cried and told you their stories. Do you get emotional about things like that?
I do because human nature gets in my emotions, and
Yeah.
people, I've had the most amazing experiences since then, and that was almost 20 years ago. That was like, 18 years ago,
Yeah.
19 years ago. And I still get people. And the other day, about 7 years ago, I guess, I was in a bookstore near my home, and I saw a young girl. She was probably 9 or 10 years old, and she was in a wheelchair, and she was bald, and she was kind of hunched over, and her father was asking a question, and you just know cancer when you see it. You just know it now.
Yeah.
And so I just made my way over, and I was like, oh, hi, and I said hi to her, and the father turned around and looked at me, and see, I'm going to get emotional now, because he said, he goes, honey, the video I showed you, that's the woman in the video. Oh, come on. I know. And it gets me all, because
Wow.
I had that effect, and it's still something that someone can go to and go, look, she was bald. Don't worry about losing your hair, don't. And it's, yeah. Yes, I do. To answer your question, I still get emotional.
Wow. What a moment. Oof. How did you change as a songwriter coming out of that experience?
Coming out of that experience, I told myself, I made a promise to myself that I would only make the music that I loved in my heart, that I would never make music for what I thought the company wanted or that would be a hit or something. I would make music that came from me. And from then on, you can see from Lucky to the next album that was The Awakening, big difference. And from The Awakening on, there's a spiritual sense. There's I just want to light people up and I want to make myself happy. No apologies. From then out, and no, I haven't had a hit on the radio. I did get an Oscar. I've had some amazing,
Yes, you
amazing experiences.
The song and
Yeah,
the Inconvenient
yeah.
Truth. Yeah.
But I've just, when I write songs, they are for me. They comes directly from my heart, and so I can stand on stage and always just be 100% what I am.
If you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire episode, click right here.